Hey guys, welcome to Gracefully Educated podcast, the place where we blend faith, wisdom, and learning with grace. I'm your host, Carmela Carter, and I have the privilege of sitting with Mr. Greg Smith this morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
It is my pleasure.
I am so blessed to have him in a place. First of all, he and a Mr. Greg Smith. This is Pastor, Anointed One, walking in the holies of holies, Greg Smith. I'm joking with him, but amazing Greg Smith. So let me share a little story about Mr. Smith. I'm gonna call him Mr. Smith because that's how I know him, right? So I met Mr. Smith I had a company, I still do, I Am Grace, and we gave away to teenage parents a box full of grace.
Right, that's right.
Yeah. And so during the box full of grace, we give it out during Christmas time. And I went to his program at Willenboro High School. It was called the MVP program, Make It Vision Possible program, and I presented a box full of grace to some of the teenagers who had babies in his program. From that, Mr. Smith had a job opening available,
That's
and
right.
he said, I think you will be perfect for this job. And just so happened, I was going through a terrible transition in my life, and I needed that. And the job opened up, and I got the job. And I worked with Mr. Smith for quite some time at Willenboro at the Make It Vision Possible program. And you are the reason I got into education, public education. Because I was a medical assistant instructor.
That's right.
So that's post-secondary education.
Yes.
But to get into regular education is because of you.
Oh my gosh, what an honor. To God be the glory.
Thank you. It's so funny how you were walking your purpose. I was walking in what God had called me to do. And then I fell into destiny.
Indeed.
Through you. So thank you again. So Mr. Smith is here to talk to us about his journey to education. How did you get? Because he's not an educator. Let him tell you the story. Tell us the journey.
All right. Well, thank you again for having me on. I'm so excited to share a little bit about my life story and how God blessed me. For many years, I was a medical social worker, and I was working in a hospital and worked in several hospitals, more or less doing reactionary counseling for people who were in already bad situations. And the Lord began to speak to me about doing something that would be more preventative and to work with people in the beginning stages of their lives to help them, empower them, and support them. And it just turned out that I was able to get a position. Initially, I was working for an organization in New York called Inwood House, and they did a program. It was called Teen Choice. And the purpose of that program was it was a program that was designed to empower kids to make good decisions, but also to focus on teen pregnancy prevention. And I really liked that. And I was the supervisor for this program in Atlantic County, and we did it in 3 schools: Atlantic City High School, their alternative school, and another school in Atlantic County. And that really got me interested in working with teenagers. And so when the school-based program became available in Willingboro, I ended up taking that and became the director of that program. And that really took off spiritually because everybody that we selected for the various positions, the majority of them were Christian individuals.
Wow.
That God presented in my past, such as yourself, and it allowed us to, in an indirect way, minister to the kids. And you know how that worked. And God blessed us that as we met with kids, we were able to infuse our spirituality. And if they allowed us, we were able to infuse the Spirit of God in their lives. And it was such a rewarding experience. And I believe that, like you said, it was God-driven.
It definitely was, Mr. Smith. I mean, I love how God directs our path, right? So you weren't even thinking about teen education until you got this job in New York, working with teens, and then now into Willenboro High School as a counselor, director, because he was my director, my boss, and then to then be considered a counselor and everything over the program.
Absolutely.
Let me tell y'all, we did some spiritual stuff in that place. We don't work there no more, so nobody can hold it against us.
Absolutely.
But I'm
Absolutely.
telling you, the students came in and their lives were transformed through this program, Making Visions Possible program.
Mhm.
I actually have a lot of students that we minister to and talk to follow me on social media. Do they do the same for you?
Absolutely, absolutely. You would be amazed at how many students still are in touch with me, and I've been able to watch their journey because I started the program in 2006. So a lot of the kids now are in their late 30s, and some of
Wow.
them have kids of their own. In fact, many of them have kids of their own. Um, we had one student when I first started in 2006 whose daughter graduated from Willingboro High School last year, and she is now going into college, and we've been able
Wow.
to keep the journey and the relationship together all these years.
What an impact.
Indeed, indeed.
What an impact, Mr.
Yeah.
Smith.
It really, that job was a blessing to me in so many ways. I've watched kids, as a result of it, I've baptized students' children. I have one student who was in that program who really considers me literally like a father figure to her, calls
Wow.
me dad, and I'm
Wow.
involved and engaged with her children. There are many that I've come across that have supported me, and I've supported them in their various professional aspirations. It's just been uh, the move of God to be able to watch kids grow. And like you said, because of social media now, people are gravitating back, and you see their growth, you see their potential, and to know that you have a hand in it in their early stages, it's just remarkable.
And I think that's the goal of us educators. The goal of us educators, like we get into education, maybe some people for the money, some people for the influence. But for me, I love being in education for influence and legacy. And the legacy that you've left, you had a child in your program. Then that child had a child, still because MVP is still there,
Hmm.
went through the program probably, and then graduated on their way to college. Like that's legacy.
It is.
And then for God to bless you to be able to see that,
Yes,
to see
yes.
your impact.
Yeah. And on a personal level, I will tell you that when the program started in 2006, I had a son who was living in California at the time with his mom. And I think that in some ways, because I didn't have the direct ability to be in his life like I wanted to, I
Mm-hmm.
infused a lot of that energy into the teens that were his same age that were in the program. And
Mm.
I didn't really understand why it was like that, but as a result, my relationship with some of these kids is just phenomenal. And
Mm.
I think it really helped me through a very difficult time in my own life because, as you know, a lot of us get into um, helping fields because of our own unmet needs, our own childhood trauma, whatever we have experienced. We in turn figure out a way to help somebody else so that in turn it helps us. And I
Mm.
mean, I'm very transparent about the fact that, one of the reasons I got into social work was because of my own stuff that I was dealing with as a kid growing up and just having difficulty navigating. But God opened up an opportunity for me to give to somebody else. And
Mm.
in turn, it helps me. So
Mm-hmm.
to God be the glory.
Yes. So I started there in 2015. Wait, was it? I think it was
Yeah.
2015. Anyway, in 20, so you have been there for years prior to me even starting. And I can say one of the things that the impact for me was to not only see how you engage with scholars, but also how you engage with the community.
Mm,
I remember us having community meetings.
yes.
I forgot the name of them, but
Yeah. The community forums.
yeah,
Yes.
community
Yes.
forums. And in these community forums, you brought in people in Willingboro, different business owners, mayors, that will have impact for scholars not only in the building, but also outside of the building. What made you start such a thing? Because I think educators and who's watching may need to start something like this because we think that we're the only impact that the scholars should have when there's a whole community of people that's rooting for them. So how did that actually start the community forum?
Well, I can't take personal credit for it. It was part of the model of the program that we were supposed to engage with the community because they understood, like you said, that it takes a village to
Mm-hmm.
raise the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I think, though, to our credit, um, Willingboro was so receptive to the program, and there were people that were helping to root for the program, and they were willing to come forward and share whatever they had. And again, I think a lot of it was just God ordained. I think that
Mm.
people knew what we were trying to do with empowering kids to make good decisions, and they wanted to be a part of it. So they stepped in and they offered. And networking, one of
Mm.
the things that I just feel is really important when you're working in any field, is to not isolate yourself, to open yourself up, to have conversations with people. And you know this very well from your own experience. When you begin to network and engage with people, God just takes control,
He really
and
does.
God will make sure that you get exactly what you need, and sometimes more than you could ever imagine.
Yes, because more than I can ever imagine with relationship. I never knew, except in that position there, um, that I would meet so many great people, so many great people. From, I don't think they will mind me saying their names because it's a positive space, but from the Dr. Tiffany Worthy, right?
Absolutely.
From Algernon Hall, Joe Dingle. Like, these are community people that are like doing the work for the children, doing the work for the community, and to meet them in that space. And there's so many more
That's
that I
right.
can name drop, but I just want to put them out there because they all got businesses. And I met them because of what you did in that community.
Wow. Wow. Well, they were all just very remarkable people, and they
Mm.
wanted to make a change. I remember when Tiffany Worthy came to our program,
Mm.
and she really wanted to help. She was new to the community, she and her husband, and how they just wanted to find a place where they could fit in and they could help empower teens. And as a result of that, and in their own brainstorming, they developed their own teen program. And
Mm-hmm.
so all of us working together for God's purpose brought forth a real sense of change in the lives of kids and the community in general.
Right. So we talked a lot about like the proud moments. I mean, to the point that I got goosebumps, and I feel so proud to be a part of such a community. But let's talk about what was a challenge. Like, if you could think of a challenge or a couple of challenges that you may have had that caused a stumbling block between counseling and what you did, and then the students, because we didn't directly teach the students, we taught them life skills
Yes.
and not, you know. So tell us about the challenge that you may have faced in education.
Well, one of the challenges when our program started in 2006, there was a lot of people who were very receptive to it, but there were also some people that were very skeptical. And
Mm.
I remember there were teachers that were very ambivalent about who were these people from the outside coming in to tell us how to be better educators. I mean, that was
Mm.
their mindset, that we were coming in trying to tell them that what they were doing was wrong. And that
Mm.
wasn't our point at all. We wanted to empower the teachers, we wanted to be a support to them. And the beautiful thing about school based was that we could tailor the program according to whatever the needs were of that particular community. So the program didn't have to mirror, wasn't a cookie cutter. It was more of an approach. Let's look at the school. Let's find out what the deficits are, and let's support the school according to what they need.
Mm.
But there were people that were threatened by it. And
Mm.
there were people that said things and did things to try to discourage students from coming.
Wow.
There were, one of the things about our program was that we were always available to students at any time. And quite naturally, we know some students do take advantage of that in a negative sense. There were some teachers who just would not recognize that maybe a kid does need to come down and have counseling, but they were so focused on, oh, they have to stay in their classroom. So there was those types of tensions between some of the educators and our program. And we
Mm.
had to work around that, and we had to build and develop trust. I think by the time you came on, the program had already had solid footing, and it was pretty much well known. But there were a lot of times early on where it was really people were apprehensive about it. So I
Mm.
think that people being threatened is a major stumbling block. And I think that we as a community have to get over that, and we have to learn to work together with people, because everybody has strengths, everybody has gifts, everybody has a common goal to try to help kids.
Right. Wow. So sometimes I love how you pointed out it was the conflict between the educators and the program, not a student.
Right.
Right. And so sometimes we look at education and we always put it on, a lot of our issues is with parents, or a lot of our issues is with scholars. But here we have the issue being with the actual educators that's resistant to change,
Absolutely.
that's
Absolutely.
resistant to change, resistant to help. Not out, I'm sure it wasn't out of their own, well, I guess it was out of their own fears, but not knowing that it will change systems.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That we were all in this together to work to break the cycles that were perpetuating within the educational system.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know that kids can't really achieve their educational goals when they have problems at home and problems in the community and problems with their with mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you have somebody that's willing to work with these kids and help enhance their mental health well-being, then they can achieve better academically.
Mm-hmm.
So if we work together, the kid wins.
Mm-hmm. And I remember being a part of that whole system. We had students who, I remember a student who wouldn't come to school because she didn't have hot water to wash up or didn't have water. Their water got cut off. We worked together to get the student water back on for her to come to school and continue her education.
That's right. That's right.
That was, if it had not been for that program, the educators wouldn't have got what they need. They probably would have written her off.
That's right.
But they didn't. Also, I remember us dealing with a lot of students' death.
Mm-hmm.
And us helping the students grieve.
Yes.
Their peers grieve.
Absolutely. Yeah.
In that process.
Yeah, that was really one of the more painful aspects of the program when students, for whatever reason, I remember one student, yeah, even before you came, was in a terrible motorcycle accident, and it just rocked the community, and it rocked the core of the kids that were involved in the program, and we spent a lot of time trying to support kids. One student unfortunately drowned during a summer incident, and that was another really difficult situation where we as a program had to rally and support, and then we had to nurture ourselves because we knew this kid, and
Wow.
we were connected to this child too, so it was a lot.
Wow. I love everything that you've done for MVP in the Willenburg community. What did you do after that? Like, because you left the program, and what trajectory are you on now?
Well, it's interesting. It was a very good and positive part of my life, but there was an additional spiritual calling that I knew that I had to address. And so I really moved into ministry and received my master's in divinity. And I went and pastored. I pastored several churches since then, and I'm still pastoring a very small African Methodist Episcopal church in Fairhaven, New Jersey.
Oh, wow.
And it's a very historic old congregation. But I really enjoy being able to infuse some new life into them. And with my wife working with me, it's been a really good experience for us. Yeah.
Nice. So do you do anything else besides?
Yeah, I do. I do some private counseling.
Okay.
And I recently accepted a position, an administrative position, to work with a family visiting program that will be for people who are dealing with foster care, the system, and also families that are having problems within the home with their children. There's a program that has received some grant funding to support those families in the house, and I'm going to be the program administrator for those programs. And so I'm excited about that. I'm not sure where God is leading me, but I knew that I needed to kind of get back into doing some full-time work. Look, with a child in college, you know.
Okay.
So I am still going to be doing that, and we'll see what the Lord has in store.
Nice.
And in the meantime, I do some poetry, and I've written a couple books, and so I'm just kind of chilling and enjoying life for now.
Nice. Well, first of all, the family's going to need you, because I'm telling you, if anybody who has the privilege of coming in contact with you is a blessing, for real. And so having going into that, you said you did poetry, which is y'all see these books. His son illustrated these books. Look at it. Isn't that nice? He did such a good job. Let me pull this one closer to the camera, and then you could just zoom in. But tell us about these books, Mr. Smith. Come on, Mr. Smith. You got two names, okay?
Well,
So
these are they're entitled "Reflections of a Vibrant Past," and they're poems about people who have actually influenced my life. We all have mentors. We all have people that have blessed us over the years, and I felt as though I wanted to do something to commemorate my elders, people that were important to help building my life. And I grew up in Princeton in a community called the Witherspoon Jackson community. And it was a very
Okay, Princeton. I'm from
definitely.
Trenton. We next door neighbors.
That's
Dog.
right. That's right. That's right. But Princeton actually had a very well connected African American community. Of course, over the years, with all kinds of changes and everything, the community basically is half, or it's probably a quarter of what it once was. But at that time, when I was growing up in the 1980s and 70s, it was a very, very vibrant community. And there were a
Mm.
lot of people who just stood in the gap, told me when I was doing wrong, pulled my coat, told me to go in the right way. And I wanted to remember those people. So I wrote poems about them. And
Wow.
that's what the first volume is. The second volume is a little bit more about my peers, people that directly were my age group and inspired me, encouraged me, and did things for me. And so that's how I did it. And I'm going to do some other ones. I'm going to do things about people in the community who have blessed me, such as yourself.
No, not me going in the book.
You're going to go in the book, and I have a poem I'm going to read for you too before
Oh,
it's over. Okay?
awesome. Don't make me
Yep,
cry.
yep, 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 yep.
I never knew that you did poetry. All these years of knowing you, since 2015, was that 10 years
I
now?
know, I know.
I never knew that you did poetry.
Yeah, yeah.
How long have you been doing poetry?
It's interesting. I started doing poetry probably when I was a teenager, and
Really?
I used to write little poems to people in my family, to late to the ladies, that kind of stuff.
Okay, ladies,
I got a
then.
whole volume for Kamari, and that was
Aww.
how I was pulling her in with them poems. Every day I used to write her a poem.
Kamari's his wife, and she's beautiful. He was pulling her in with the
Pulling
poem.
her in with them poems. But it really was a way. I've always been a creative writer, and it's a way to express myself and to share. And that's how, and I just kept it kind of like a secret. And then, you reach a certain age, and I was like, you know what? It's time for me to put some of this. I had half these poems were in the garage or were in my car or in the basement somewhere. And I just started pulling them out, and I just said, you know what? I'm just going to publish them. And that's exactly what this book is. And the first book really was sponsored by the Arts Council of Princeton, and the proceeds of the book go directly to them. The second book I did on my own, and those proceeds go to me. But I'm more interested in just sharing, not really making anything out of it. But it gives me great joy to see it in volume. And it chronicles the lives of important people so that you know that they existed in the community.
Right, because history books won't have them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
History books won't have those people that truly made the barber,
Mm-hmm.
the hairstylist,
That's right.
the people that left legacies.
Yeah.
What's one person in this book that you want to highlight?
Mm.
Who's one person in this book that you want to highlight?
Oh, gosh. There's so many. Let me see. All right, this one was entitled Our Town Hero. And this was a man by the name of Donald Johnson. He was an incredible, vibrant, strong black man. And when he walked in town, everybody stood still because he was the man.
Wow.
So I'll read about him.
All right. Mr. Donald
Johnson.
Johnson, is he still alive?
No, he passed away a
Aw.
few years ago. And I actually wrote this poem at his funeral.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's celebrating the life and legacy of Donald Johnson. Our town has many heroes. They've come both great and small. Some teach us as they build us up, some others as they fall. This recent hero's solemn strength avoided shallow thought. He lived his greatest legacy, his lessons widely sought. He taught them with so little words, yet dearly shared so great, of family and of fatherhood, of carrying your weight. Demonstrance he wasn't. He needed not a show. You felt his strength in action, his gifts you learned to know. Whenever he would enter into a crowded room, without a word you felt it, reliving fear or gloom. He was our fearless giant. His presence did secure an atmosphere of calming, resolve forevermore. So now we pause to say goodbye, reflecting on the strength of this our great town hero, whose actions told the length.
Okay. That was awesome.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Wow. Okay, Mr. Poet. That's exciting.
Well, let me read the one I wrote for you, and this is going to be in my next book,
Stop.
all right?
You got to make me cry.
I wanted to leave with a poem for you, Carmela, because you've inspired my life in a lot of ways, okay?
Oh, you did. I did, Mr. Smith.
You did.
Look at us having a moment. Ooh. Go ahead.
All right, Carmela. Out of the depth of vast challenge, a unique seed was born, surviving to bear light to the weary and give strength to the worn. With each turbulent trial, new lessons were laid to share and ensure, replacing the pain. Your purpose, well woven through your grandmother's prayers, to challenge, to reason, to love, and to dare. You grew and you nurtured along the dispelling old ways to restore and perfect with God's final say. And now here you bloom with lamenting new pleas, restoring, perfecting new turbulent seas, along with life partner, embracing new dawns, the best yet revealing your grandest new song.
That was so beautiful.
That was for Carmela.
I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
I want that.
You will get it. You'll get it.
Because I need it.
Yes.
I want to put it in my prayer room.
All right.
As a reminder. I appreciate you.
You know what? And the truth is that, we all gain from each other.
Yeah.
And you have blessed my life. Mm-hmm. I'm glad to have been able to be a part and a blessing into your life. And that's what God has created us to be.
For real. He really has. Mr. Smith, it has been a joy and a pleasure to sit with you. It's an honor to know you. And I wanted you to share some lasting encouraging words with our community. If you could look at the camera and share some lasting encouraging words.
It's important for us to be a mentor. There's a passage of scripture, and I know it's in Proverbs. It says, "Let the wise listen and add to their learning, and let the discerning get guidance." We have to be responsible for our future. Everybody is depending on you and for me. We were created for a purpose. Tap into God to find out what your purpose is and use it for the glory of God. And God will bless you, and somebody else will be blessed as well.
Thank you. Y'all see what I'm talking about? Like, I'm just stuck here. I'm just like stuck. So much wisdom. I mean, if you didn't gain faith, wisdom, and learning with grace on this particular episode, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Thank you again, Mr. Smith, for joining us here at the Gracefully Educated podcast, the place where we blend faith, wisdom, and learning with grace. If you have not yet subscribe. Leave a comment for Mr. Smith. Give us a thumbs up and share this video because it will help our community. Have an amazing day, and thank you for joining us. Bye.